Hello, my dear ones. Make yourselves comfortable. Grab a cup of tea or coffee. Today's story is a truly big and slightly unsettling revelation. I want to share something that still gives me goosebumps. This is not a story about the future of science fiction, but about the future of the Earth. Of a future that has already begun. You know, sometimes the news sounds as if it were written by a Netflix screenwriter, but this isn't a series. This is reality. Right now, in the Afar region of Ethiopia, something is happening that scientists used to explain only in textbooks and animations. Africa is slowly breaking apart, not metaphorically, literally. In a place where the landscape looks like the surface of another planet, scorched land, salt plains, grey-black lava fields, three tectonic plates meet and pull away from each other at the same time. The African, Nubian, the Somali, and the Arabian plates. And it is here that the Afar Depression lies, one of the most unstable and tense regions on Earth. But the most eerie and, at the same time, mesmerizing thing is that the Earth is breathing there. Beneath the surface, hundreds of kilometers deep, a mantle plume is pulsating, a gigantic potoke of superheated material rising from the depths of the planet. Scientists compare it to a heart, because it doesn't work constantly, but rhythmically. A pulse, a pause, a pulse, a pause. Each such impulse stretches the Earth's crust, weakens it, creates fractures, pushes magma closer to the surface. And each time, Africa becomes just a little less whole than it was before. I remember the moment I first read a scientific report about this. There were no loud words there, just dry numbers and graphs. But behind them stood something immense. A continent in the process of splitting apart. The Earth doesn't crack suddenly. This isn't a cinematic rupture with fire and screams. It's a process that takes millions of years, but we are living in the exact era when it is already visible, measurable, and irreversible. Every year, East Africa moves a few millimeters away from the rest of the continent. Sounds ridiculous. But that's exactly how the Atlantic Ocean began. Once, Europe and America were one. And you know what's the strangest part? We are used to thinking of continents as something eternal, solid, immovable. But the Earth has never been stable. We were simply born during a brief moment of its relative calm. And now, the rhythm is accelerating. In Afar, scientists are increasingly recording. Earthquake and sing, the quake and needy and they see it can say. Volcanic activity, expanding fractures stretching for kilometers. In 2005, within just a few days, a rift more than 60 kilometers long opened there. The ground literally split apart, as if lightning had struck from within. And this was not the end. It was a warning. Because when the crust becomes too thin, the ocean always finds a way. But more about that in part 2. Stay with me. The most important part is still ahead. If you're still here, it means you feel what I feel too. That strange mix of awe and anxiety. Because now we're approaching a moment scientists talk about almost in a whisper. An ocean, a new one, a real one. Let's imagine it together. Thousands of years pass, then tens of thousands, then hundreds of thousands. The fractures in East Africa grow wider, the crust becomes thinner and thinner, magma rises closer and closer. And one day, what geologists consider inevitable finally happens. Seawater from the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden breaks into the continent. Not all at once. Not like a wall, but slowly, persistently, centimeter by centimeter. Water fills the depressions, connects the rifts, widens the cracks. And, at some point, the map of the world changes forever. East Africa, the future territories of Ethiopia, Kenya, Tanzania, and Somalia, separates. Between the two parts of the former continent, a new ocean basin appears. This is not a hypothesis for catchy headlines. This is a scenario confirmed by satellite measurements, the chemical composition of magma, the speed at which the plates are diverging. Analogues from Earth's past scientists already know exactly how it will form. They see that the crust there is gradually transforming from continental into oceanic. In other words, Africa is literally rewriting itself. And this is where it hits me the hardest. We live in an era when continents still seem like a given, maps look final, geography at school feels boring, but millions of years from now, people, if they exist, will open an atlas and see a completely different world. And for them, Africa will have always looked that way. Our map will become history, an archive, the past. We are witnesses to the beginning of a process that will outlive civilizations, languages, and states. And you know what's the most beautiful part? The Earth doesn't care whether we're afraid or not. It's neither cruel nor kind. It's simply alive. It moves, pulses, changes, and sometimes it lets us peek behind the curtain. When I think of Afar now, I no longer see just a dangerous region. I see the cradle of a new ocean, a place where the planet is creating itself anew. And maybe this is a reminder for us too. Nothing is required to stay the same, not even what seems unshakable. Thank you for being with me on this journey. If this resonated with you, tell me in the comments what you felt: fear, awe, or calm. I'm sending you a hug, and I'll see you very soon.